Welcome back to What's in My Golf Drawers Golf Talk. Jim McCleary, Most War Certified Clubmaker Club Fitter, and we're here in Waverly. Why do we talk about stuff in our drawers for us? Because old guys are tremendous pack rats, right? And that's what we've been talking about since the beginning of this COVID stuff. It seems like we might be getting to the end, but you just never know. I'm going to try a little turn here, see what this does. Oh, look at that. There we go. Okay. So, it's been a monster week at McGolf. And we are going to start it off with an award. I got an award. Make sure I got there. How about that? If I can get it, I can't even see it. There we go. Right there. Top 50 with Accra. That's not bad. Now, does that mean I'm one of the top 50 best cheftologist guys they got? Well, we'll just say I'm one of the top, considering those guys are worldwide. Very, very well done indeed. And since there's a bit of a delay, I'm going to ask Mrs. McGolf to bring in the new FXs so I can show you. This is going to be something that hasn't been released yet. So you can see this is a McGolf first. And we'll be able to get there with that one. And we'll be able to try it. So, as always, we always see how we did with the rounds. If you guys are watching the Dell match play, right, we saw that Billy Horschel was going against Scheffler. Look at that, not too much of a delay. Thank you. And he was. I tuned in just about the last two holes where he was 2 up and he was in the sand. So. And Scott had a shot at least taking it to the last hole, and I think I don't know what he did, but he didn't capitalize on it. We'll put it that way. Okay, so we go through that. Some work I've been doing in the shop. We've sent a lot of clubs out today. However, we've got some more going. So this one. Apex with the DCB, deep cavity back with the recoil dart. All right, the recoil dart. Very good combination. I am really digging on the dart. Although I like the MMT as well, but I think that the dart is it certainly is an upgrade. There was a while where I think the recoil kind of flattened out, but I'm really liking on this dart. And then we're doing a set of the Mizuno MP20s, kind of a combo set up, and no grip. And we will talk about why no grip right now. As many of you may have already heard, we don't know yet. And then finally, it's just all around. I got a Mizuno Hot Metal Pro, and it's going on you know who this is for. You're out there, Joe. This is for Joe. He's a local guy. But I'm waiting on a shaft band. I think we just got them in today. So the shaft, that's all I needed. They're bent, they're ready to go. Just need to put shaft bands on it. Can you believe that? Amongst some serious repairs, I did a build that I really don't know. I hope it works out for them, gentlemen. Pardon me. Oh, for crying out loud. Hold on. There we go. So, and I was given a set of 3 through the lob wedge, standard issue clubs, and told to make them all 38.5 inches long at a certain flex. And that's not normally something that I would do, but I did it anyway. And it only works if the shaft is so stiff at the top. I mean, you got to be just right at the very top in order to go to the bottom. And it basically was, by the luck of the Irish, it was, right? It was. So that's what we did. And we made them up, and they were some old Infinity 302s. You guys haven't been around. Infinity is one heck of a... I carried them for a long time, and I credit them with having one of the first component hybrids. And they were very, very good. And so I liked it a lot. So anyway, very forgiving club, and we got her, and we got it out. So we should be good to go. Uh-oh. Mrs. McGolf has come with a statement or a question.
You got an email from Scott Sandrin, and he's on there, so I thought maybe you could answer.
Okay, so Scott, you're asking me a question via email, so we're going to answer you first, and then we're going to get back into the discussion. It says, I put a shaft adapter together for a Mizuno 3-wood and let it dry for 24 hours before I put the head on. When I dry fitted it, it seemed the adapter would fit tight, would be a tight fit. I didn't screw it down when I dry fit. When I started to screw it down, the head into the adapter on the final install slowly integrated together what I thought would be a good fit. Now, when I go to adjust the loft and lie, unscrew completely, the head will not come off. It seems the head and adapter are now one. Oh no. I've tried to apply a little heat with no luck. I don't want to break the epoxy bond. I've tried pulling it, but no luck. Have you run into this? Okay, a couple of things. I'm gonna guess, Scott. So if you had the so the adapter in this particular instance, it's like a ferrule looking piece, and it pulls out. It's very similar to the driver, I think. Anyway, it pulls. You pull the adapter out. So if you had it pulls out, you turn it, and you put it back in its holder, and away you go. If you've got some glue in there, it's lodged together, and applying a little bit of the heat's not a bad thing. You're going to have to work it a little bit. You apply a little bit of heat, work it a little bit. I mean, what I mean work it is kind of like that. And apply a little heat, work it a little bit. Now, what I've also done in the past is I've held on to one or two of the other sides of it, and I've done it with pings because the pings tend to get press fitted in there. And I have a rubber mallet hammer. It's rubber on one side and plastic on the other. And I will take the rubber side first, and I will give it a couple of good solid raps to try and break something free. And so you might have to hold on to it right as close as you can and kind of hit it on the upstroke. Not into the top of the head, just in the back of the hosel. And you can get it. So typically, if that's the way that worked, okay. If you put the adapter on and then put the 3-wood head on and it is now stuck, there's one of two things, because there's gears in there, and if you force that thing on, you're jammed, and that could be a problem all itself. But again, take the screws out, and then you're into the wrapping mode of it in order to get that. But that's as good as I can help you out with, man, without seeing it, right? And this is one of those I got to see it, so we should be good to go. All right. Let's go in. I'm going to answer a few questions, and then we will get in. I'm going to show you the new shafts. We're going to talk about the Golf Pride grips and what I've got going on with Golf Pride in order to get just a bit of a giveaway. So let's get started. Matt, no rounds. Question. Man, what? No rounds? What will change first on a golf club, loft or lie angle? Should I check those more than 2 times a year? Hope all is well. Well, Matt, in reality, it would be my opinion, and that if you're a ground pounder, like a guy that taps his club, bam, bam, on weighting, right? Just not a hard thing, but just tap, 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 tap. Whenever you tap, 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 eventually it's going to wear. And it's going to get the lie angle first, right? It's going to get the lie angle first. The other one is, the only other time I would see that you would have this monster change is if you were just this super strong golfer and you were getting the bottom 2 grooves just all the time. Then that might change the loft angle. And of course, when we're talking about this, most of this is when we're talking about forge clubs, right? And you want to check loft and lie angles. Let's say you're playing 3 times a week, and if you're playing 3 times a week with forge clubs, and you notice that something's off, I would suggest about every 6 months having just a loft and lie check. Go have your specs with you, have them checked, and see what goes on with that. If you have cast clubs, I would at least check them once a year if you're playing that frequently. If you're playing less frequently, I would basically double that. I would go at least 1 year with the forge, maybe go 2 years with a cast and see what happens there. Okay. There's Mr. Charles. How are you, sir? Dave? Hope you're staying safe. Golf is back in England. All right. I have no clubs, and my shafts are on back order. They're in a boat in the Suez Canal. Well, that seems to be. So, Dave, you're a wonderful lead-in man. So, Golf Pride is back ordered on a lot of grips until July. Let that sink in for a moment. Golf Pride, some of their grips aren't going to be here till July. What's up with that? Right? What is up with that? Now, Mrs. McGolf has tried to, ask the question, and we were told that the container fell off the boat into the middle of the ocean. Okay. And so we went to another supplier and asked for the same stuff and got the same word on the delay and got the same excuse. So, and that's not only but 2 suppliers, but 3. So I don't know how true it is, but by golly, they're banding together and they're saying the same thing. This Suez Canal boat, man, I saw that thing. I want whoever this guy is, this captain, he's better not be a captain for very long if he did that in that canal. I mean, good golly, who does that? So there we are. So what we're going to do is I'm an official grip center with Golf Pride. Boom. Okay. I got this one and I got that one. And they're both very, very cool hats. Unfortunately, I have a very, very large head and they do not fit. Okay. And that's the unfortunate part about it. So my large head hopefully shows up for you guys. For you guys, look at this. I'm going to go to like the largest. See, it still doesn't get there. This is a good hat. This Richardson is a good hat. I really, really like it. It's the trucker style hat. Let me put it back here. Trucker style hat, netting, very, very solid. I mean, I like it. I like the look of it. I'd wear it if the doggone thing wasn't so small, at least for me. So again, tell me what your favorite grip is and what grip size you use, and that answer will be collected by Mrs. McGolf, and she will pick a winner towards the end. All right, right towards the end of this, and then we will send them out to you guys. Okay, let's keep going. Then we're going to answer a few more, and then we'll get to the shafts. Jeff, what's going on? Lie question. Do you use a lie board or a Sharpie line on a ball? Method to assess pros, cons of each. Do you do something else? No, I haven't covered it in a video. I use the lie board. All right, I know it's not the most popular thing right now because the Sharpie line is, that's the closest thing. Maybe. And it's become habit. Now, guys are like, oh, the lie board's really, really thick. Well, my lie board is like that. All right. It's not a gross amount that you're going to be just so far off. You're never going to be able to hit it. I have yet to see that happen. Okay. Also, what I put it on is a mat. All right. I haven't in my hitting. Well, here, I should be able to show it to you. I swear these shafts are going to be the death of me. I got to move a stool. Okay. So, anyway, I put this lie board on the mat, and so when they hit, it actually kind of presses down a little bit. So that's kind of my theory with it, at least. Oh, I can show you something else. I got a new net. So let's go on a little ride here. There we go. There's my lighting. So you see there's the lie board with the hitting area. So I put the lie board on that hitting area, and it makes it give a little bit, right? It gives down. So I think it takes up a little bit of that space that everybody's talking about. Now, booyah! How about that? That's going to be something here in the near future. We're still playing around with the with the white background. As you can see, that's where I've been putting golf balls. Isn't that crazy? It's actually kind of in the middle. And but a new net from West Coast Netting, and with a projector, or what they would call a simulator screen. I think that's cool. and we're working on it. Okay, so anyway, we're working on that. We just put that up yesterday, as a matter of fact, and that's the reason why I'm so excited about it. I need to pull it a little tighter, right, so I don't have all the wrinkles down the side, but we're going to be okay. Oh, do this again. There we go. So that's what it is. The pros, or the pro of it, is that it's basically, for me, it's an accepted practice, Jeff. If you I put electrical tape on the bottom so we don't scuff the bottom of the club, and I think it works. Now, the con of it is, and I've seen it done, and I've done it myself, is that if you get a guy that's a real early releaser, he hits the board instead of hitting the ball and sends the board sailing. I did that in a driving range once and about had to take my life in my own hands going to get it. Outside of that, and the fact that it's noisy, but that's the plus or minus. The Sharpie one, has merit. It takes, if you're really worried about being that precise with the lie angle, and I sound like, oh, it's a giveaway. No, not really. But if your guy hits fat, right, with the line, then you get a bit of an issue there, because now you're at the top of the club. Now, what does that mean? And then it takes a little bit of practice, because it's always backwards of what I think. All right, about how you go, how you measure how much up and how much down has always been kind of one of those witch doctory kind of things to me, where on the bottom of when you get a scuff on the bottom, you're just how far you are from center. You can measure exactly quarter inch or half inch for half a degree, that kind of stuff. It's right there, bam, 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 one right after the other, and that's the reason why I like it. Yeah, I think it is, Charles. Mr. Al? Good. We're waiting, and as soon as they show up, they will get done, sir. Good evening from London. Nice, Pas. Thank you, sir. And there's my buddy from Sweden. All right. Since my buddy from Sweden is he's the shaft guy, he's always asking me these different questions. Accra is changing their what we'll call their middle tier set of woods. They have the I series, which is their first model, the FX, which is the second model, and then the Tour Z, or the ZX, the Tour Z's, or the TZ, which is the stuff they actually see on tour lines. Now, what it used to be was they had the 1, 2, and 3. 1 was a high launch, 2 was a mid launch, 3 was the low launch. And again, the higher launch was made more for the smoother swinger. The mid was the average golfer, and the 3 was for the aggressive swing low golf. Now, they've changed their ways, right? Let me see if I can get it right here for you. The numbers are the same, but the colors are now different. There we go. So what you're seeing, there you go. You see the 1, 2s, and 3s right there, the 60s. There we go. So the 1 is still a blue, and I like this kind of new blue they've got. It's a really nice looking color. The 2 for the average golfer is the green, and I really like the green. I'm a green guy. And now the 3 is the red. Now, let's see if I can get you in there. The color, this camera doesn't really capture it, but it's almost, I called it iridescent. It's very shiny. All right, it's very shiny. Let's see if I can roll one. Yeah, see how it's moving that around? And then it's just a good looking color. Now the other part that I think was really cool, and they really kind of caught me off guard, was, look at that. So if you're really bothered by color, you could have it put the other way if you wish. So there's some really cool graphics. If I pull back, kind of a digital look going this way, and the same way going that way. Now, the thing about these guys is that they have more weights and more flexes in each one of the classes. So the blue will be more of the lighter weights, the 40, 50, 60 gram, where the middles will be starting like 50, 60, 70, and then the top one will start at 60, 70, 80, okay? And then they will have corresponding weights that or flexes that go with them. So there's a bunch of overlap, and which is really neat based on the way that you want to tailor flights or feel or whatever they're looking for. Now, the other part that I think is extraordinary, and the reason why I like Accra so well, is they have an associated fairway wood and associated hybrid shaft. All right, you can, a lot of times you'll see hybrid shafts out there, no problem. But it's a rare animal, if not more than just one other company than these guys, that does a fairway wood shaft that balances out with this. Now, how do they do that? You say, oh, it's 10 grams heavier and you just cut it. No. Well, they have a process called die match, right? Dynamic matching. And what they do is they take into account from the driver to the fairway wood to the hybrid and the weights and the way that they're used and how to get them to swing through the club. And so they're made, so, you know, we talked many times about the shafts going down there and the heads being made for specific purposes. Now you have a fairway wood that's specifically for fairway woods and hybrids that are made specific for hybrids. I think that's just outstanding. And at a cost that's not crazy, you know, the crazy exotic stuff. The stuff's made in Japan, so it's a very, very high quality, very, very high quality shaft. So, you know, this is about as international as it gets. Made in Japan, sold out of Canada, comes to the U.S. Okay, let's have at it. So there it is, guys and gals, is that's coming new. Apparently because I was in the 50, they gave me some to check out and look at, and we are going to do that. All right. There's Scott. Yep, I got that one for you. Okay. Oh my God, good. I'm glad. I haven't seen the fact that it's been pulled out yet, but that's good to know. There's Josh. All right, Texas, nice. All right. How durable do you think a nickel finish would be? Well, I think it'd be the nickel finish is basically chrome plating. So as much as any chrome club would be, I would think that's it there. Jim Cavaleris. Wow. Oh, that's right. I'm digging on the arm patch, man. Okay, if a client requests a firm flex in their build, would you use an R flex shaft and hard step or an S step and stop step? Would it make a difference either way? Well, yeah, it kind of does. That's kind of a good question, though. And it depends on, again, Jim, and all the golfers out there, everything in golf, the right answer is it depends. It just depends. Because it depends on the golfer's release, it depends on the golfer's transition, it depends on the height that they want to obtain. It's just all these myriad of things. And firm for one company may be a different firm for another company. And that's where we come in, right? That's where we come in when we do these builds. So you've got to have it, my friend, on what you think a firm is to you. So is it at the top end of the regular flex, bottom end of the stiff? Is that what firm means? Or is it somewhere more firmer than stiff? Because I've had those, right? However, in this particular instance, we're going to say regular, stiff, somewhere in that category, right? And if you wanted to have a little more control, we'll say, right? A little more control and maybe a slightly lower flight, I would go with the R flex. If the guy was a little smoother and was looking for a little bit of height, I would go with the S flex and go that way. Hope it helps. There's my buddy. I gave him a Pro Force X core. Yeah, you said that. Extra. That's a good question. The Active Core was in competition. If they still have it, VTS is another one that could keep up with that one. And they have their dots. They had a silver dot, a red dot, and a black dot. You want the black dot, obviously. I think that one would go with it. I think that's pretty much. There's another one, but it starts going exotic, and I don't think that's what we want to do. Is staying in where your feet's still on the ground with the active core. The VTS has a lot of the same technologies in it, and I would go with that. Okay. Any experience with universal adapter, and if so, the thoughts? Travis, I don't. I thought about it, and I'm getting ready. If my experiment works, I'm getting ready to make a change, but it won't be to the universal adapter. There are at least 2 different kinds out there that I'm aware of. I have heard not one soul complain about either one of them. Okay? It's more of a fitting tool than anything else. I wouldn't necessarily prescribe it, although you could. I wouldn't prescribe it for just the normal golfer when you have the adapter there, because I believe you have to change the tip, and then you have to put on the cog that will adapt you into it. So there's more than just taking a ring and putting it in there and locking her down. So you got to keep that in mind as well. But I haven't heard anybody, in fact, the folks that have used it have been very, very happy with it. And I've talked to a few because I'm getting close with with Callaway and with, it's all the popular drivers. So I guess the Callaway and the Mizunos will be on there. The Srixon maybe. However, I carry Wilson, and they got that D9 that looks really, really good, and it's bonded. I believe it's bonded. Yeah, it's bonded. So when you get a bonded club, that throws all those universal adapters right out the door. I can't use them on anything. So I have to go a different way so I can even use my bonded heads as well in this same system. So it makes for makes for an interesting setup, and one day we'll have to go over that, what I do with my adapters to make sure that I can get them to work. Apart from Diamond Golf in the UK, do you know of any putter component companies, especially heads for independent club fitters? I'm trying to think, Jim, or Dave, sorry. Well, I mean, GolfWorks. I mean, if you want to go there with it, GolfWorks has some. I'm trying to think who would be another one. It'll hit me here in a little bit. I got a friend in Ireland that's a putter company. He's a putter company. I don't know if he's doing he probably would do components to certain folks, but it'd be a select few, and only if he knew you. And I might be able to get away with it, and they look to be extraordinarily cool. But I'm harping on him because he won't make a left-handed putter. He just won't do it. I'm just trying to think. I would check with GolfWorks next and see what they've got. There's Dwayne. Did you make it down to Florida, bud? We were wondering because you were talking about going, and we were just want to make sure that you got down there okay. Do you fit putters to swing weight or something else? The funny part is I have never fit a putter to swing weight. Never done it. And why is that? Well, because putters are a unique club. And I could talk about putters for days, but what happens is you're relegated to certain things. You have the steel shaft, then you have the stability shaft, and then you have the KBS shaft. You have there's all these different shafts, and they all weigh differently and act differently. And if you can ever get in the stability shaft, as of lately, you could, if you looked around hard enough, you'd probably find something like the Stroke Lab. And those things tend to tilt towards the head. That's okay, because then it gives you an opportunity to back weight. Or when they go from small and they get to big, then it's already doing it on its own. And a lot of it is more about the feel in the hands and or the head, and you can figure it out when you're putting. Now, what I like doing in a lot of cases is when we will do this, you ask, do you like a lighter putter? Well, I have a lighter putter. I said, here, putt with this, and then we'll putt with a heavier putter. Putt with that. Now, which one do you like? Oh, I think I like the heavier putter. Oh, okay. And vice versa has happened a couple of times as well. But I've never used that as a spec. I'm more about the total weight, about how the thing was going to balance as a whole. Because the minute you put in, go from a regular grip to a big monster super stroke, the guy loves the thing, and now your swing weight's out. What are you going to do? You're not going to fill the thing full of sand, right? So it's a balance of feel versus comfort, and basically that's where I get onto this. All right, I have none about these doggone shafts. There we go. Now I'm not going to have to worry about them anymore. Hopefully that helps you, man. One of the things I have found that helps me, and you get to learn a lot about the putter stroke and what people are doing, and especially if you monitor certain parameters, is the Capto unit. Okay, it's out of Italy. The Capto unit does quite a bit, and it monitors things that you wouldn't even be thinking about. And once you start getting kind of a database in your head or even tracking it, you'd be surprised what you'll find, what you know that you know as opposed to what you don't know, and it makes you a much better fitter. Travis K. in New Jersey, what's up, buddy? Can you explain your method of finishing and polishing ferrules? I get stuck with them coming out dull and warped. Ooh, okay. Well, we'll call this a positive expression so YouTube doesn't get mad at me. But the guys that I've trained in the past have called me the Ferrule Nazi, okay, from Seinfeld, okay. Anyway, what I do is when you go to finish a ferrule, we'll use Joe's club as so when you go to finish a ferrule, normally the mating spot right here is going to be off in some fashion. What I use is a 1x42 felt belt going at 1800 RPM. And I rest it in a jig that basically does this. And then I press it against there and I turn it into the belt. It only takes about 2 rotations, 3 tops. And then what it does, it smooths this guy out, right? It takes all the edge right here. Now, here's a club maker thing. If you have a shop and a club maker comes into your shop, you will know he's a club maker by this one action only. It's a measure of how good you are, right? We've always used that as a measure of how good a person is. So anyway, once that is done, I take paper towels and I cut them in 2x2 squares. And I have a box of them. And what I'll do is I'll kind of get it wetted down with acetone. All right, I shake up a can on it, and to where if it's dripping, I let it drip into the can to where it stops. And then what I'll do is I'll go up and down, twirling this thing around, and I'd go around it once, right? And you go around it more than once, you're just trying to undo imperfections, maybe a spot on the hosel or something like that. You let it dry for just a few seconds, maybe a minute. And then what I do is I put it on a unstitched buffing wheel, right? An unstitched buffing wheel that has, it's called Glanzwatch, right? W-A-C-H. That's the reason why I call it that. I.e. now it's yellow polish, and you can get it at Grizzly, and they come in bricks or bars, and it's like a 1200 or better yellow polish. It's the stuff that they use. If you ever see anybody polish a guitar, it's the exact same stuff. And then what I'll do is I will rub it. I'll put it on there and I will turn it this way. So I'm cross hatching, right? I've gone this way with the ferrule, with the felt belt. I've gone this way with the acetone, and I'm going back around one more time with the polish. And then when I wipe it off, I'm going up and down, and I wipe it off. And then I give it the final inspection to make sure that there's no dings, dents, or anything like that. If you go to the Instagram feed, Here, I'll be even more of a, do it like that. There you go. The Instagram feed, and even on Facebook, I put one on. Went to finish it, and a crack appeared, across the whole top of it, and I'm like, oh my god! And they make these ferrules that that come in two pieces, and you can snap them and slide them down. No, it just doesn't compute for me to do that. Can you do it? Yeah, I'm sure you can. But off the head comes, new ferrule on, and we start all over. But that's what I did. But hopefully that helps you out. And yes, there is a video. So if you go in there and you go and look in the YouTube channel, there is a video as well. Alrighty. Pro 4 sector core black. Oh my. I wouldn't go much more than 1.25 inches. You got to have some insertion depth in order for you to have even the littlest bit of feel, Krister. And honestly, I wouldn't go any more than that. You'd be pressing it very, very hard to go 2 inches. But if you want any feel whatsoever, any of that, you really, really need, just go about, 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. But I wouldn't go any more than that. Scott W., UK watcher, great content. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Scott. Hopefully you guys are getting out. Hey, tell me. He said, I heard Dave mentioned that England was open. How about the rest of the countryside? Wales, Ireland, Scotland. Did we open up, and is everybody playing golf? I guess we're going to find out by a few more folks if they're not here tired from playing golf. Let's find out. Matthew O'Malley, there we go. If that's not an Irish name, that's awesome. Welcome, buddy. From Denmark. Sir, I would say that, but I would probably pronounce it wrong. So maybe one day you guys can teach me how to say the names. That would actually be cool. How to say the names. Got to get to the top again. Here we go. Henry, there you go. Better solution for driver into the wind. Lower loft, lower spin, both, something else. Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, honestly, if you just wanted to hit it lower, and it's a driver, mind you, first thing I do is I just tee it down. You don't have to do a thing. Just tee it down. Tee it down a lot. And try and hit, if you're a guy that's like this, tee it down to that. That'll take quite a bit off of it right there. If you're, and keep in mind, when you're playing, there's no messing around with loft. There's no messing around with the lie angle. There's no adjustments allowed while you're in the middle of the game. Assuming you're playing that kind of game. If you're out there just having fun, have at it, right? But the other one is to hit just the most immediate impact you can have on hitting it low is tee it down or have lower loft. Boom, right there. Now the other side of it from the swing side is lagging, coming into the ball lagging, right? Hands leading quite a bit and lagging turned down. Krister is probably the best guy on here to talk to you about that, but letting that happen. So, but that's what I would look at. No glue. Well, that's good. It's just stuck. Yeah, use the rubber mallet. Just give it a couple of whacks and see what happens. Now, you might want to, if you have the capability without scratching the fairway wood, you might actually hold the head and try and pound on the adapter itself. It might be easier that way, Scott. Randy, what is going on? Love the videos. Thank you, sir. I've been re-gripping for friends and myself for years. Watch out. It becomes a habit. I've been looking into build-up tape using painter's tape is it going to cause issues? Keep up the vids. Is it going to cause issues? Probably not. I'm going to say probably not. The only reason why I say probably, Randy, is because what I like on build-up tape is I like a smooth texture, okay? and they call it like packing tape. They call it brown paper packing tape, and it's a very smooth texture. And when you have to cut reliefs on them in some cases, it folds over very, very well. The thing with painter's tape is painter's tape has a rough, we'll call it a rough surface. It's a surface that you can grip because when you're painting, you want to be able to grip it because sometimes it has that paint on it and you want to pull it off. And that texture, in just some of the cases, you could feel it coming through, okay? And the other part in some of the painter's tape that I've come across, and it's just me, it's more like a Post-it note, right? Where only portions of the tape is sticky, and it's not a permanent stick, it's a give-up stick. And that may not stick very well when it comes to being on the shaft. That's the other part. But, I mean, I've seen it used. Now, if you're blowing on grips and that kind of thing, if you're using it to blow on grips, I don't see where that's a problem. I've seen guys use it, but what they do is they just put it about this much on the tip, and then on it goes. So you might consider that. Good. Glad to see it, John. From Delaware. All right. We are all over the U.S. today. Well done. U.S. and England. Let's see what else we got out there. Just got Golf Pride line grips fitted to the Iron's best grips. They are nice. They are really nice. I do like the Aligns. I did a review on the very first ones that they had, and it freaked me out. And it was only because I recognized what I had. When I went to go hit, I was so busy guiding the bottom of my hand into there, I could tell you if it was going open, if it was going shut, if it was going straight, the whole 9 yards, and it was all about me swinging. Well, I'm still not, but good enough to control where I wanted to call my shot, basically. And it was freaking me out. Well, I wanted to give it a test, and I was testing 2 grips, and I just put them on the 2 clubs that I knew I was going to use the most. And just one round, I had my dad out there with me, and I just pulled up the 8-iron, bam, threw it out there. I said, wow, look at that. That was a really good shot. And it dawned on me that I realized that I knew where it was going to go. I'm like, well, how in the heck did I know that? Well, I looked down, it was the Align grip. So once you get past the idea that it's on there, it's one hell of a tool. RJ, would you put the spine in the same position as flow? If so, what position would you install it in? Okay, I got that one. Well, to my buddy Phil, who normally is on here, but I haven't seen him yet. We'll see. So RJ, what I do, I put the spine at 12 o'clock, and I tend to twang the club straight up and down, so from 12 to 6. So yes, I do try and put it the same position, but just because I have the spine marked like this, if I have to go one way or the other in order to obtain flow, that's where it goes. Jerry, what is going on? All right. Weather looking good. Course looking good in Texas. Tee time 9:45 in the morning. You are the man, Jerry. Got to keep them low. I imagine the wind's going to be howling. That's Texas weather, right? All right. Here we go. Played a test round at the pay and play course to test the golf clubs after putting on the Jumbo Max giant small size. What'd you think? You tend to like all that big grip stuff. I imagine it helps you. From all the stuff that you've told me over the months now, I have this vision of a skinny Bryson DeChambeau just grabbing it and growling and just having at it. It's just it'd be fun. All righty. So guys, keep in mind, I just saw where Charles volunteers for one of the hats. Tell me what grip that you like and what size it would be. Krister's telling me he's apparently liking the Jumbo Max. Okay, I can tell you it's a huge difference compared to the CK Orange made for TaylorMade. The latter was swinging like a telephone pole. Yeah. Good. There's Seb. What's the difference between taper and parallel? Well, all right. So taper tip is exactly what it sounds like. It is a taper. The shaft is more tapered this way, and it's defined by the tip size. So on an iron shaft, that's because where they're tapered at is a 355, 0.355. Now parallel tip is exactly what it sounds like. It is a tip that is straight on both sides, parallel, and comes in a fashion that is 0.370. Now, why is one different than the other? The taper tip will come in discrete lengths. What I mean by that, there'll be a 40 inch, a 39 and a half, a 39, 38 and a half, 38, and so on within their model profile, right? They may start at 41 and end at 37. They may start at 39 and a half and end at 36 and a half, whatever. But there's enough to go through an entire set. And that would be discrete lengths. And that is also, it's common, we'll call it context, to say constant weight. Not all of them do it, but constant weight. And that was the thing. That's out of the 60s and 70s. That was the thing. You had to have that. Well, along comes parallel tip. Parallel tip comes in what they call a universal length. They're all the same size. And then what you do is you tip trim to obtain your flex, and then butt trim to length. So instead of the taper tips, you put them in, tip trim to length. Parallel, you tip trim to frequency, and then butt trim to length. There. Oh, Matthew, what? I went to purchase the jumbo grips, size extra small, medium, and medium. I put them on 3 clubs, and it turns out the best for me is the extra small. They fit fantastic in my hands, and I hold the club very loose. Very cool. I'm telling you what, I'm glad Bryson is doing well to bring up the visual of these guys, because they really do put in a lot of hard work to make the product sell. So that's very, very good. L top shaft. Yeah, I put it at the top. Everything goes to the top. I think that's it. Scott, CP2 Pro. There we go. Now we're seeing it. There we go. Bill Reynolds, greetings from Massachusetts. Bill, thanks for joining, bud. Very windy. Had to cancel golf today. Back tomorrow. Was it that windy? Wow. It can get pretty, well, I imagine it can pretty bad up there. My wife's family is from Massachusetts. For the life of me, I cannot tell you the name of the city, but I know they're there. All right, and thanks for enjoying the channel. Jeff's talking about the CP2 Blue. Between that one and the red one, got to be one of the more popular ones for us, I'm here to tell you. I do like the dual compound, but I'm not I am a purple guy, but I'm an MCC4 guy. There's a dry fit. Yeah, we're talking. There's the ones I've got. Ooh, Steve. The TZ6, yeah, that'll work. I think that'll work pretty good, actually. That's a solid combination right there. I know Gavin's going to be happy. That's pretty good. I think that'll work, Stephen. Let's see, get here. Now we're talking about it. Look at here. We got Brendan does Golf Pride Z's aligns. Those are nice ones, Brendan. Those things grip you back. Now, have you guys seen the new ones for those? Imagine the Golf Pride Z without the cord. I think they may have found something. They have become a stock grip on the Callaway Apex line. I like them. I like them a lot, to the point I would take them and build them, put a couple wraps under the bottom hand. They feel they have a lot of flats on them, as opposed to like a Tour Velvet where there's a lot of grooving. There's a lot there to get a hold of. I think it's going to be a really good grip. CP2 Pro, there's the other popular one. Tour Vac Black, there you go. All right. Dave from Michigan is in the house. Well done, sir. We know which ones that Dwayne likes. Very cool, dude. Unfortunately, I'd have to agree, Matt. It was we're unfortunately not going to have that kind of hat. All right, we've got tour wraps. By the way, receive the Groove It. Those magnets are strong, aren't they? And the thing is, you just kind of throw that thing at the bag, and it finds its way to it. It'll snap between towels and all kinds of stuff. So what he's talking about is he ended up. We've got like three. We ordered a whole bunch of those Groove It brushes, and we showed them on here a while back, and they improved over the first model line with some of the internals, a stronger magnet, that kind of thing. And I use them. I almost use them exclusively to clean off clubs in the shop now. And I have one on the bag, and my buddy Bobby goes clunk, and he kind of gives me that look like, "What did you just do?" The thing is just super duper strong. All right. There's Kent. How are you, sir? My live board is no more than 1/8 inch like you. I use either method. Really doesn't matter. There you go. I think once you get used, it depends on the surface area that you're hitting off of, to be honest. If you're on a really, really hard surface like your traditional driving range mat that sits on a piece of cement and it's like that, that might be detrimental, and then you might want to hit using the ink. But hitting off of those mats give you such false positives, I wouldn't know what you wanted to do. So there we go. She just came in here and told me to speed up. Can you believe that stuff? All right. There it is, John. South Australia. What do you say, sir? Lampkin ST hybrid. Oh, okay. There's a good one. First look at that. First ST. Second guy to get out, well, other than Jumbo Max, to get outside Golf Pride. Well done. Tour Velvet. Yep. I like the Super Tax. They're pretty nice. A little firm, though, I thought. SJ, what do you say? I don't know. Did Robin answer you yet? I'm just now getting down to the bottom. They are on order. I know I got something. I just don't know what I got. She's keeping me busy. Cross line. There we go. Brendan. Good gravy, man. Well, Brendan, don't hurt anything. That's a while to be off. Enjoy the walk, sir. Enjoy the walk. There we are. Oh, look at that. The heads did arrive, so good deal. Waiting on the grips. Maybe they're in the Suez Canal. Good evening from Florida. Tyler, how are you, sir? Been scouring the internet for a used iron set. Is it worth looking at just heads only? What would general price be per club installation? All that best. Thanks. Tyler, Robin, if you send us an email, Robin will give you a quote. It'd be mcgolfshop@roadrunner.com. There we go. Thanks for the update. All right. I can't wait to put those together. They are, Krister. I like them. They for middle of the road. Obviously you're in the 3 category, and they do go up to the 80 gram. But they do have you're in that 70 gram category. They certainly do have that. That's for sure. What is this? The Connor UA. Just got my Wilson FG60 and model wedges that you built for me out on the course. The lefty ones. Dude, I hit them. They were actually pretty nice. They're shovels, but they were pretty nice. I was really happy. First day back, level gross. Yeah. Isn't that the way it is, up and down, especially when you first get started? Well, Stephen, unfortunately, none of those are going to hold up to the TZ. Ooh, Kurt, sorry to hear that. The little finger thing has happened to Mrs. McGolf a couple of times too, although not 6 stitches worth. Dang. Hope you heal up quick. Oh, there's a good guy. There's another one. Well, we'll just get rid of him. Here we go from Puerto Rico. Tito, how are you, sir? Yeah, hopefully not, right? Any way to get the screw out of the inside of the King Cobra inside head, the King Cobra head. Inside the head has hot metal screw is stuck. All right, let's read this again. Any way to get the screw out of the inside of a King Cobra head. Inside the head has hot metal screw stuck. Oh no. Oh no. I don't mean to be laughing at you, Kurt. I just, because, you know, we've all had that issue. So, if you get the screw out, go get a lottery ticket. However, one of the best ways, the way that you're going to get it so it slides is you're going to have to heat the sole up with like a propane torch or even a butane torch. Heat it up. You're going to need gloves for this one. Heat it up. Heat it up about 20 seconds. Let it set for about 5 or 10. Heat it up for another 20 seconds. Let it set 5 or 10. Another 20 seconds. And then start dumping it out. Because what it is when you heat it with that much heat, it only takes like the whole tube, a whole container of that stuff, that tall, that big around, just plumb full. It's going to be hard as a rock, and you can put it in a microwave for 10 seconds, and the whole thing is just squishy. Okay? You do that, and it'll pour out. So you're going to have to catch it with something. It'll pour out. Hopefully, the screw is oriented correctly in order to get it. At least you'll be able to shake it. But if it's in there sideways, dude, I don't know. I just don't know. But that's one way to get it away from the hot metal or the hot melt. Ah, okay. Well, be careful going down there, buddy. We're watching for you.
Kurt says he'll send it to us.
I don't know if I'm gonna get it out either, but I can show. I can certainly try. Wouldn't that make a really great video? Does it? Can you or can you not? My money is on the not, but it certainly will give it a try. Ray Ferrule, sunny SoCal. How you doing, man? Hyrico, yeah, they do sell component putter heads. Dave, there's another one. I've never tried them. Hyrico. So Hyrico bought Dynacraft that was up here. And Hyrico is quite possibly the largest golf club head manufacturer out there. And they just make tons and tons and tons of stuff. They are the epitome of the look-alike. Not the clone, but the look-alike. And because they will change just a slight tweak of something so they can't get hammered for copyright. And but I don't think that their stuff is obviously, they won't put all the tech into this stuff. However, when it comes to a putter, I would check them out and see what they've got. Alrighty. Oh, we got to go back to the top again here. Wow, got a lot going on. All right, Dwayne. Yeah. I have no doubt, man. I have no doubt. Tito, what do we got? Any experience with the MMT TX iron shafts? Do they play as stiff as KBS dollar tapers or softer? I've played the MMTs, and they are stout. The funny part is they don't look they don't look it. right? They look very thin and flimsy to me. There's something about that the graphic on it that gives it this very, very thin appearance, but it'll stay with it. The dollar taper is nice, and it is a stout club, but it is not the stoutest in the KBS lineup. It is actually a little softer, and so the Tour X, when you're talking about both of them, I think you'll see a very big comparison. Now, the thing is, you're going to be playing graphite versus playing steel, so you want to get that through through your head, so that you know that when you get it, you're like, oh, wait, this is not what I wanted. Well, that's what it is. Tim Bachhold, and on Facebook, thank you, sir. There's Randy. Thanks. I'll try out packing tape. Keep the good work. Saskatchewan. All right, Randy. Well done. I guess it's starting to get to the point where you guys can actually get outside now. I've talked to some guys from Ontario. In fact, I had a young man in here. He told me the name of the place where he's at, and he's from Canada. He married a gal that's from Columbus, Ohio, and they're both chiropractors. And this dude can bomb it. Holy cow, can he bomb it. And he was in here, and we were testing him, and I got him straightened out on a few things. But he can bomb it, and just the nicest guy. But he's up north. Mike, what's going on? From Buffalo. Just hit a week into the season. Chilly here, had a par 3 course. There you go. You can do a little Zen golfing. The TE forged irons. No. Not the TE. Where they have the ones that they are having some gross amount of success with and a gross amount of positive feedback is their what they call them TS1s and TS2s. The TS1s and TS2s are just phenomenal. They're the ones that if you were going to make a competitor for the 790s, that would be them. And they're good looking and they hit well. Before you pull the trigger, and if it fits your eye, look at the TS line. All righty. Oh, David asks, do you know anything about Star Grips? What's your opinion? They're some of the longest lasting grips I've ever seen. We'll put it that way. My favorite grip of them all is the Smoothie. It's a very smooth rubber grip. And initially they were the first ones. It's crazy how much I know about these guys. The rubber that they initially used was EDPM rubber or EDM rubber. It's the same rubber that they use on your weather stripping in your car. And they, of course, make it firmer, but that's what it is, so it lasts that long. There we go. Oh, we're 6:33, Mrs. McGolf. We need to get 2 names. We need 2 names. Love the Align grips. Glad to hear it. Mike Engel, neighboring Indiana. There you go, sir. Another personal funny note, both Mrs. McGolf and I actually went to high school in Indiana. So we've been around. Got to make sure the guys put the lines on accurate. That's a fact. Do you like the Mitsubishi C6 Blue shaft? Most of what Mitsubishi puts out, I do tend to like. I like the feel of it. The C6 I've not had in here as of yet, but if it's like most of the other stuff, it's made very, very well. So I can't put anything down to it, but I can tell you that it's a quality group. Charles, you get 50 mile an hour. Yeah, that's more than a 5 club win, do you think? Checking in. There you go. Very windy. See, we're all doing that. Got all that wind. We had some high winds yesterday, and it just I was in shorts on Saturday and then had my coat and almost looking for a parka on Sunday. Lakeside Park, Kentucky. All right. Well, hopefully Mrs. McGolf answered you. Repurposing the Cali 80 stiff flex and 19-degree hybrid to a 23. Okay. I would go about a half of an inch. That's what I do, about a half of an inch. Okay. Well, all right, here we go. Mrs. McGolf picked. I have no idea how, but she just handed me two names. Dave Brzezowski and Charles Bartholomew. There you go, fellas. You win. Dave and Charles, send us your email or send us your address, and then that way we'll get them out to you. And they are very nice hats to be, by the way. All righty. There you go. Wind Dry Tech. We are all over the place here. D9 driver. Connor, I think the D9 driver is an excellent club. It is a bang for buck kind of thing. Is it going to be a world beater? Probably not. But, bang for buck, it is in a class all by itself. I think the looks on this thing is outstanding. I think the thing hits very, very well. And when we're talking drivers, even when like My Golf Spy does all those tests and they get all their things and they get all these things, if you look in the top 20, there's like a difference of 4 to 5 yards tops. And what it is, it's left to right control. And Wilson is always, every time I've ever looked at it, Wilson's always been in the middle of the pack. So it's only a couple of yards behind. What grip would you recommend to replace the Scotty Cameron dual bounce counterbalance grip? Ooh, that's a toughie. You might look at the Super Stroke Angelo, because you can get different weights and put into the back of the club, and you can get that balance that you're looking for. If not, then what they have is you can pick out a grip that you prefer, what rubber, whatever, and then find somebody with balance certifieds, and you can test to see which one works the best. We've done that for years, since, 99 basically, and it is an excellent product that fits in there, and I think you can go with that. All righty. Down to the last one. Here we go, Henry. Inexperience with the Mira iron build swing weight. I know heads tend to be heavier. What should I expect for a standard build? Nothing fancy. Standard length grip. 1 to 2 swing weights. Actually, Henry, the Mira, when you get it, if the heads were brand spanking new and they're getting it, I would fully expect, number one, that every lie angle is perfect, every loft angle is perfect, every head weight is on line. These guys don't mess, all right? They do not mess. And the only part that anybody has ever complained about is the fact that because they take a taper tip, that the taper tip fit is so tight. It is so tight. Now, that can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing, so you got to be kind of prepared for that. But it makes for a really, really good club. As a whole, also, Mira is also, if you were to compare against all the other clubs out there, their club heads tend to be a little smaller. Okay, so you got the same amount of weight in this little bitty head. It's closer in there, and that's probably what everybody's thinking. It's a little heavier. But I would not think that you would be 1 or 2 swing weight points different. Now keep in mind their idea of a normal swing weight, I believe, is D3 or D4 for an iron, where most people are now D2 to D3. So it's gone down. It's not that they're heavier, that's just how they build for them. All right. So there we go, guys and gals. I got down to the bottom, and here it is, 39. We're out to record. No wonder Mrs. McGolf is getting on me. Okay, guys, send me your addresses so that we can get there. Check out the channel. Oh, I didn't put anything out last week because I had a technical glitch and Adobe totally stole my entire video. It just disappeared off the face of the planet, so it threw me behind. I've got 2 in the pipeline. I just got to finish them. So hopefully we get that. And we'll get them out to you. So stay tuned onto the channel. let us know. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go out to the other platforms, just like you see scrolling down below right there, and join us and see what else we're putting into the shop. All right, and as always, let's see your scores. Go low.